This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Hope you guys are doing very well. And I wanted to talk about a subject today, and it's kind of a little bit different. Normally I'll do a lot of this stuff on the podcast, but I also like doing stuff here on YouTube. But I'm going to start this here, and we'll eventually bring it over to the podcast. And of course, if you have anything that you want to talk about on the podcast, you can email me at novaprime860@hotmail.com, and it's Rob's Tabletop World wherever you download your favorite podcast. Please give us 5-star review because well, I guess you're supposed to do that. I don't know what it does for you, but I don't worry about it. But today what we're going to be talking about is one of the things that is most disturbing. A little while ago, I brought up a subject as far as fatigue in gaming. And a lot of things that we brought up were Kickstarters, how exhausting they are for everybody. And the funny thing about it is what really made me think about this and what everybody was talking about was the fact that Kickstarters can be exhausting, especially when you decide to put out an amount of money and then you have to wait years. And that can be exhausting, fatiguing, waiting. Gamers are basically patient people, to be honest with you. And they will give you a lot of leeway as long as they get what they think they're deserving of. Well, I'm not somebody to use the Kickstarter system. I've never paid for a Kickstarter. I support a lot of people that do Kickstarters, and for me, it's just I don't want to have that in the back of my head. Oh, this is going to be coming at some point. Oh, this is going to be coming. And I think it would drive me insane. So I don't think about things. So when something like recently Frostgrave started hitting the shelves, well, of course I wanted one. And I didn't want to wait, and I was going to go. It's not a fear of missing out. I want to bring it in because I had a couple of reasons. So I started looking, and here's where I think we run into a little bit of a problem, and I think it's bad for board gaming in general, okay? Because what Kickstarter does is it gives you an opportunity to basically purchase something and that may not come out retail right away, or it may be Kickstarter exclusive, which seems to be a big thing. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. So the regular Joe like myself and you guys, I don't want to wait. Okay, it comes out, you start hearing things about it, whether it's good or not. Maybe you just want to get it on your YouTube channel like myself. So where's the first place that you're going to look? You're going to look to where they sell it. Either they're going to be selling it on the BGG market, or you're going to look on eBay, especially if it's Kickstarter exclusive. And this is where things get a little weird. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, because they may have paid to get the all-in package. Let's just come up with a number, $200. They put out their $200. It's like putting money into a savings account, okay? The interest is going to compile, because as this thing comes out, somebody, and I'm just as guilty, is going to pay more than it was worth, okay? It may be $200. They're going to have it anywhere from $400 to $600 to maybe even $800, because they know it's a Kickstarter exclusive. It's an investment for a majority of people. And I can't believe how many people are out there on eBay that go out and just buy the game. They don't even play it. It comes in, and there's other people that are waiting just to play it that don't get it. But these people get it, and it immediately goes up on the eBay. How is that good for board gaming? How is that good? Okay, and then maybe they get stuck with it because maybe eventually there's a game that they will lose on, okay, and then this thing comes down, and then they either lose money or they're going to make a ton of money, depending on demand. And does it put a bad feeling or a bad taste in somebody's mouth? Man, I just paid $375 for Frostgrave. Why did I want to pay for that much? Why was it worth it for me to pay that much? Well, it was worth it for me to bring it in because, number one, I wanted it for the channel. Number two, I wanted to be able to paint some of the figures before the end of the year. And I wanted to be able to spend time with this game because this game came out in 2022, and I wanted it to see if it was going to make my list of games of the year. I wanted to be fair because you don't want to put up a list and go, well, I didn't get a chance to buy that, but it may be the most popular game of the year. I put out the money for the channel. It was worth it for me. For somebody else in their group, they might compile their money and be worth it. Now, what if the game's bad? Do you run into a couple of bad games and then people go, this Kickstarter thing, I just about had it. Board gaming, I'm not doing this anymore. Does it hurt a lot of people? The people that legitimately want to use Kickstarter for good, okay? Hey, I need to, there's no company that will pick this up. I need to see if I can get this funded. If this is a project that's interesting to people, and I would like to get this funded and do all these different things and be able to bring this to the public. And people back it and fans buy it. But what you're finding is that just any game, it doesn't matter. The majority of them don't, if they're big enough and they are, let's face it, they are these campaign games win all the time. They're in the millions. They are guaranteed money for whoever is producing these things. Some of them are good. Some of them are not good. Okay? Some of them have problems. And this is where the problem lies, because a majority of the people that are backing these things are people that are looking to make money, not for the love of the game, but to make money. Do they have a right to do that? Absolutely. But does it help or hurt things in the long run? Yes, it helped fund this game, but when people can't get it and it's Kickstarter exclusive, it hurts, I think, in some ways, because then people have to go out of their way, spend extra money, try to research where they can. That a majority of these channels that are getting this game for free, okay, are not going to pile drive it, especially if it was a highly successful Kickstarter and they want to do business with a company like an Awakening Realms or such again, okay, an Games or whoever. If they want to do business and they want to get their free games for their channel, okay, or get the paid review, okay, they are going to sell you that game, and you are going to go to eBay and you are going to go try to find it. A lot of you are going to say, well, no, I don't do that, not me, no. Okay, maybe not you, okay, but a majority of people do it. I've done it for the channel, okay. When Dungeon Universalis first came out, okay, I could, another game that was very hard to get. I'm talking about the first print run. I paid whatever it took to get in here. It came banged up. My Frosthaven came banged up. Wrote the guy, he goes, shipping must have done something with it. You take those chances. And it puts a bad taste in your mouth. I think the combination of eBay and Kickstarter is deadly, okay? And it's dangerous. And eventually it will hurt the board gaming business. Because, again, it's just like comics. Die-cut silver. People didn't know a thing about comic books back in the 90s. And during the speculation phase, okay, comic books were at their highest. You got to remember, Batman had came out. A lot of these things, a lot of big books came out. Image started Spawn. Spawn was huge. Spider-Man 1 was huge. The Killing Joke. All these books in between that, in the late 80s and early 90s, okay, caused this speculation market. because comic books were more popular than anything that you can imagine. And then they started adding, well, we're going to make a special cover. And Valiant did this more than anybody. Valiant came out and they, Man of War XO and Ra and Bloodshot and all these other different types of comic books came out with these beautiful covers. And people said these things are going to be worth money. And initially they were. Jim Lee did a brand new X-Men book. That thing sold more comics, and speculation and things like that. The aftermarket, people that didn't read comic books were buying 10s and 15s of these things, saying, hey, I saw what the old comic books did back in the 60s. I'm going to buy these. I'm going to hold on to them. Or I'm going to resell them as quick as I can. I'm going to buy them for $5, and I'm going to resell them for 40, for 50. And it happened. And then enough people had a bad taste in their mouth where the same thing happened. Speculation, and it killed the comic market for a while. Never killed it permanently. But does that same type of thing happen here with board games because of this Kickstarter eBay relationship? Okay? I pay for it, it comes to my house, it goes up on eBay. It comes in from Kickstarter, I sell it on the aftermarket for whatever. Boom, there's the extra money. Now I'll take that money and I'll put it towards 2 different Kickstarters. Does it get to a point where people just go, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. These campaign games, these big over to the top with all the fear of missing out stuff and everything, I'm not going to do it anymore. And does that eventually kill the Kickstarter and the eBay, and then all the companies that really wanted to, the big companies use it as a reserve surface in a way. Well, wow, we just got this influx of money so we can do all this, and we don't have to put any of our own money out. And we can keep people hired. That's a good thing. But does this thing steamroll to a point where you got that small independent guy, the guy that really needs that Kickstarter, that GameFound, or whatever it is, and it doesn't fund because people get sick of it. And we lose out on a whole bunch of really special stuff, and things take a turn for the worse. Could that happen? I wonder. I would love to see what you think in the comments. As I said, I will continue this conversation over on the podcast at some point, and we'll talk more about this. And I'm really looking forward to your input, and I'm going to take some of the input that you guys put in the bottom, and I'm going to bring that over to the podcast, and we're going to talk more about that as we continue this subject even further. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob saying, we'll see you soon, everybody.